It's the player who puts his detractors wrong and does it multiple times. I feel like we've done this conversation last year with Darnold on the Vikings saying, Sam Darnold. Now he's doing it again with the Seahawks. If you do it this many times in a row, you get an award named after you, with everyone in the summer doubting your abilities, and then you prove them wrong and go and have an incredible regular season.
I like it.
Sam Darnold Award.
The Sam Darnold Award, that could be sort of representative of all of these resurrected quarterbacks.
Absolutely.
Right? Given up on, left for dead. That was the word I was looking for. The left for dead club.
No question.
Baker Mayfield, left for dead. Daniel Jones, left for dead. Sam Darnold, left for dead. And there are
Mac
others.
Jones, left for dead.
Mac Jones is a
Throw Jared Goff in there, too.
Jared Goff at one time. They paid him to take him off his hands. And now here they are. I like this. You want to make Sam Darnold the face of it? I'm all good with it. Meanwhile, speaking of faces, give me Kimberly. Let's go. There we go. Would Kmart be shocked? Let's start in Pittsburgh. Kmart, if I said the Steelers are going to miss the playoffs, would Kmart be shocked?
Maybe I should couch my answer because I have to cover them this week. But no, not shocked. You know why? Because the Steelers consistently do this. Even when they start hot, they seem to falter down the stretch. They just have a lot of issues and they're not consistent. This defense has to play better. Rodgers has to play better. It's really simple, and I don't know if they're going to.
This week was alarming, I think, against the Chargers. How about this one? Would you be shocked if the Patriots wind up the 1 seed in the AFC?
Not shocked. For all the reasons we said, I think during the last segment, they've got all the pieces. They've got the head coach, the quarterback, the running game by committee. This is a team you do not want to face in the playoffs because they believe and they've got the talent and they've already beaten their biggest opposition, which is the Bills thus far.
And then the last one, maybe the most important game of this weekend, Kansas City at Denver. And here, listen to the way this question is framed. Would you be shocked if the Broncos upset the Chiefs? And yes, it would be an upset.
Yeah.
Kansas City is a 3.5-point favorite.
Okay. I'd be surprised, but not shocked. The Chiefs are 13-1 against the Denver Broncos. Mahomes is. So obviously history's on their side, but the Broncos, they have a very good team and the Chiefs just feel very uneven. I would not be surprised if they won. I would be surprised.
I want to show you two different sets of numbers. Let me show you two numbers. The AFC West comes down to this game. If the Broncos win, they would have a 3.5-game lead over Kansas City. They would have a 65% chance to win the division. If the Chiefs win, their chances would be boosted to 36%, which would be the highest of any team in the division. And so what does all this mean? It means that our analytics and that Las Vegas still loves Kansas City. If the season ended today, the 5-4 Chiefs would not be in the playoffs. However, they remain the Super Bowl favorites, according to ESPN Bet Sportsbook, just ahead of the Rams and the Eagles, who are at plus 700. So This is the way, and Jeff, no one is more fascinated by gambling, and I've enjoyed watching you learn all of this over the course of the last couple of years. Does it make sense to you that the Kansas City Chiefs, right now, 5-4, outside looking in on the playoffs, are the Super Bowl favorites?
No, I don't. And honestly, if you watched them against the Bills, I know they got the bye week right now. They're about to come off of one, but man, their offensive line has not protected Patrick Mahomes. When you see the Chiefs lose, it's typically because the offensive line is not protecting Patrick Mahomes. And all the fast receivers and all the explosive plays and all those things, Tom Moore, my old offensive coordinator, had a great saying I can't say on TV, but basically you can throw all those plays in the trash can because they're of no good if you can't protect the quarterback. And right now, they have not done a good job with that. The clock in Patrick Mahomes' head is as fast as I've ever seen. When you watch him play, he doesn't seem comfortable. And so hopefully the bye week, Andy Reid, they get this thing right that they just had. They come back out and look different. But what I've seen so far to tell me after you've watched Seattle, you've watched the Rams, you've watched the Eagles, you've watched the Colts, I don't see how you would say it's just a clean sweep. They should be the favorite for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, look, I get your point, and I think that is going to be where the game hinges on Sunday. No doubt it's going to be up front. And it's not necessarily going to be on the edge. It's going to be really on the inside. I mean, Zach Allen is a beast. And right now, they're going to be targeting Trey Smith. Trey's going to get a lot of attention. And that is going to be something that Kansas City is going to have to account for. Now, what's interesting about Kansas City, though, Jeff, and I see the same things you do, is that as far as measured by pass block win rate, they're top 10 in the NFL, which is it's a little confusing, okay? Which means, look, I don't know exactly how this game is going to play out, but I think that is going to be where it's going to be decided. And if they can get things settled down as far as the pass protection is concerned, there's no doubt I see why they're the favorite.
So, Peter, I want you to read the teams at the bottom of the screen.
In the hunt.
The Chiefs, and look who else is down there. Yeah. The Ravens. Look who else is on the second line, the Bills. If the season ended right now, the Bills would be the 6th seed. Chiefs and Ravens would be out. But those are the big boys in the AFC for as long as we can sort of remember in recent times. If I offered you right now those 3 teams or all the rest of the teams to wind up in the Super Bowl this year, if I'm giving you Lamar, Josh, and Patrick, or the rest of the field, which one would you take?
I go back to something Belichick used to say, and he would tell his team and he would tell the media, the season really doesn't start till Thanksgiving. If you're really one of these teams, one of these contenders, I would still take the powers. I would take the guys, the traditional ones that we have seen year after year after year. January football is different, but so is December. I cannot overreact in early November and say I'm out on the Chiefs. When it matters most, Patrick Mahomes shows up. When it matters most, Josh Allen shows up. When it matters most, sometimes Lamar Jackson shows up. I'll take those 3 guys
sometimes
over the unknown of what we're expecting with the rest of the
Ravens
field.
right now, they actually are getting hot at the right time.
They are.
Their record, it is not good. But they are actually, guys are back healthy, and they're playing better. I will say with the field, like if the Chiefs are a wild card team, if the Bills are a wild card team, but really the Chiefs,
they're going to be favored in every game.
Are you not picking them?
Yeah.
Against any of those other teams? Well, not you.
No, I'm saying right now, if you would take the Chiefs over the Patriots in New England?
In a playoff game, I would.
I would.
Okay.
I would.
Why are you not talking about the Colts?
Well, I'm
to.
For sure biased.
That was his.
No. 100%. Honestly, I think that is the team that, for me, because of the way they can control the game on the ground,
run the rock,
come to December and January. Hey, man, that's the team. If I'm going to pick against Kansas City, that's the team I'm picking.
You're talking
right
to
now.
my sweet ear, dog.
I think
that's what I'm talking about.
The 1 seed is really important too, because not only are you home, but to not have to do it that first week in the wild card and just win 2 games and we're in the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
If Indy can do that and just control that is a major.
Or the Patriots, which is I think the team right now likeliest to do it. Coming up, will the Eagles
or Monday? Steelers lost a game in LA on Sunday night. Mike Tomlin did not love being asked about his quarterback's performance. Dan, what went wrong with the Steelers?
Predictability, and it's really predictability when it comes to people, not necessarily scheme. You go to the first third down of the game, the Chargers make it clear, like, hey, we're going to double DK Metcalf on that slant route that you want to run on 3rd and 5 all the time. You go to the next third down, we're going to double Pat Freiermuth because that's really the only 1 or 2 guys. And so now as a Packers fan, you're watching this football team go, your keeper game. They kind of know that formation. Your RPO game, you want to dump it off to DK. Dupree's playing that. And so the takeaway is if I was a Steelers fan and the Steelers, I'd be very fearful of how that game went because teams defensively are saying we're going to double DK, we're going to double Freiermuth, and then you don't have anybody else.
Okay, help is on the way for Pittsburgh. New on NFL Live from Jeremy.
Steelers Nation. This is one of those stories that reminds you why you never stop believing in the process. It's about patience, perseverance, and the kind of depth that builds champions. Today, we're talking about the Steelers officially activating quarterback Will Howard from injured reserve. A move that doesn't just add another name to the roster, but adds another layer of potential, fire, and promise to this team's future. This is the type of under-the-radar story that true fans pay attention to, because while most of the league is focused on the drama of standings and trades, what's happening in Pittsburgh quietly speaks to a plan, a vision that stretches beyond one season. Let's rewind a bit. Will Howard's journey isn't your typical rookie story. Just months ago, this kid was standing under the confetti lights of a national championship celebration at Ohio State after leading the Buckeyes to glory in 2024. He wasn't a 5-star name on everyone's lips. He was a grinder, a guy who clawed his way to that stage and proved he could win when it mattered. And that's exactly the kind of DNA the Steelers love. The kind of player that fits the black and gold tradition. Tough, overlooked, and unshakably determined. When the Steelers took him in the 6th round, 185th overall, the message was clear. This wasn't about headlines. This was about potential. Mike Tomlin and the front office saw something in Howard's tape that spoke louder than hype. Pocket presence, arm strength, and leadership under pressure. He was drafted as a developmental quarterback, yes, but more importantly, as a competitor. Unfortunately, that momentum hit a wall early when he broke his hand in training camp. It was a setback that could have crushed a lot of young players, but instead of disappearing into the background, Howard went to work. While healing, he absorbed the system, studied the playbook, and learned under one of the greatest quarterbacks of this generation, Aaron Rodgers. And that's what makes this activation so exciting. Will Howard isn't just coming off IR. He's stepping into the next phase of his education as a quarterback under a Hall of Fame mentor. Rodgers has been fully healthy this year, guiding Pittsburgh to a 5-4 start, keeping the team in the playoff conversation. Mason Rudolph, steady and dependable, has handled the role of backup with professionalism. But the Steelers, true to their DNA, always plan 2 or 3 steps ahead. Bringing Howard back onto the 53-man roster signals a long-term vision, an understanding that while Rodgers is the present, the franchise's next chapter may already be walking the sideline, waiting for his shot. Let's talk about what this move means strategically. According to NFL.com's IR tracker, activating Howard now gives the Steelers 5 total activations for the remainder of the season, a number they're managing carefully as injuries stack up across the league. Pittsburgh waived running back Trey Sermon to make room, and while Sermon was a solid locker room guy, this decision shows where the priority lies: quarterback development. It's not about giving Howard snaps right now. It's about getting him integrated, mentally locked in, and physically ready. Because at any moment, and Steelers fans know this better than anyone, depth at quarterback can change everything. Now, if you're wondering what kind of player Howard really is, let's look beyond the stats. At Ohio State, he wasn't just efficient, he was fearless. He threw for over 3,000 yards with 31 touchdowns, but what stood out most was how he played in clutch moments. When the lights were brightest, when the game was tight, he rose. He's got a big frame, standing at 6'4", around 230 pounds, with a cannon for an arm and enough mobility to escape the pocket when protection breaks down. Scouts loved his leadership and composure. What he lacks in polish, he makes up for in confidence and maturity. And now, surrounded by Rodgers and offensive coordinator Brian Johnson, he's in the perfect environment to grow. And make no mistake, Mike Tomlin knows what he's doing here. Tomlin has always emphasized next man up, but he's also known for fostering quarterback development behind veterans. Remember how the organization handled Big Ben's transition years ago? The philosophy hasn't changed. You build depth quietly. You prepare players even when they're not playing, and when the time comes, they're not just ready, they're battle-hardened. Will Howard is stepping into that legacy. He's learning not just football mechanics, but what it means to wear that uniform, to carry the weight of a city that expects toughness, resilience, and results. There's another layer here that fans shouldn't overlook: the financial and roster strategy behind this move. With Rodgers turning 42 in December and Mason Rudolph under contract through 2026, the Steelers are setting themselves up to have stability at the quarterback position no matter what happens next season. If Rodgers decides to play one more year, and by all reports that's the expectation, Howard gets another full offseason to learn behind him. If injuries or age catch up with Rodgers sooner than expected, Howard could be thrust into the spotlight with a full understanding of the playbook and months of mental reps under his belt. Either way, Pittsburgh is insulated. They're building the bridge from one era to the next before the cracks even appear. What stands out most here is that the Steelers are operating with long-term discipline, something that a lot of teams around the league simply don't do anymore. While other franchises panic, shuffle quarterbacks, and chase temporary fixes, Pittsburgh is staying true to its philosophy. Develop from within, prepare quietly, trust the system. And once again, that's why this move matters. It's not flashy, it's not a headline grabber, but it's smart football, and smart football wins in the long run. Fans might also remember that Will Howard's leadership style mirrors what Tomlin values most: accountability, and composure. He's known for being calm in chaos. During that championship run at Ohio State, his teammates described him as the steady voice in the storm. That sounds exactly like the type of player you'd want learning under Aaron Rodgers. And even though Howard's rookie year was derailed by injury, his reputation as a team-first guy has followed him from college to the pros. Teammates have said he's been fully engaged in meetings, helping prep defensive looks, running scout team simulations, and contributing however he can. That's not something you hear every day about a rookie sidelined by injury. It's the mark of someone who gets it. Let's be real. There's no quarterback controversy in Pittsburgh. Rodgers is the starter, Rudolph is the veteran backup. But what the Steelers have now with Howard activated is depth with purpose. They're not just filling a roster spot, they're cultivating the future. And if history tells us anything, it's that in Pittsburgh, quarterbacks aren't just developed, they're forged. This franchise knows how to find leadership potential and mold it through hard work, mentorship, and culture. From Bradshaw to Roethlisberger to now Rodgers guiding a new generation, the Steelers have always understood the long game. And this move, as small as it may seem, fits that same tradition. So what can fans expect going forward? Don't expect Howard to see the field right away, unless something unexpected happens. But do expect to see him involved in pregame warm-ups, on the sideline with the headset, working alongside Rodgers and Rudolph, soaking up every ounce of experience. This is the NFL's version of an apprenticeship, and it's happening right in front of us. Every rep, every conversation, every film session is a step toward the next chapter of Steelers football. And that's why, despite all the noise from the outside, Steelers Nation should feel encouraged. The team is quietly setting itself up for success, not just for 2025, but for the years beyond. The offensive line is getting younger. The defensive front remains one of the most physical in the league. The receiving corps, led by young playmakers like George Pickens, continues to grow. And now, with Will Howard healthy and activated, the quarterback room has balance, the legend, the veteran, and the future. Pittsburgh has always thrived on preparation, not panic. And activating Will Howard is another reminder that the standard in this city never changes. The Steelers aren't just chasing wins, they're building stability. They're investing in character. They're ensuring that when the time comes for the next transition, it won't be chaos, it'll be continuity. So Steelers Nation, the message is simple. Stay patient, stay proud, and stay ready. Because this move might not make headlines today, but it could define the headlines of tomorrow. Will Howard's story is just beginning, and he's starting it in the best possible place, in the heart of Pittsburgh, surrounded by a culture that knows how to turn talent into legacy. If you're as excited as I am about seeing this young quarterback develop under the black and gold banner, drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe Will Howard could be the future of this franchise? What do you think Mike Tomlin's long-term plan looks like for the QB room? Let me know your take below. And don't forget, hit that like button, subscribe to Steelers Nation Wire, and ring that notification bell so you never miss a story about the team that never stops building, never stops fighting, and never stops believing.